So in this video, I wanted to go over all of the booster boxes in the Scarlet and Violet era that have been dropping. These ones have been dropping the most. I'm not really including booster boxes that have dropped like $10, but these are the ones that have dropped the most, and I've ordered these from, in my opinion, the best to worst investment from the recent price drops, and I'm going to explain why for each of these. Now, you may hear a little bit of background noise here and there. There's grass cutting going on outside my house, and I can't really stop that, but I tested the recording, and you can't really hear that much. So if you hear a little bit of something, that's all it is. But anyways, starting here first, Surging Sparks. Now more than ever, Surging Sparks booster boxes is a pretty easy buy. They have dropped quite a bit. You can see actually the market price has dropped all the way to $230. Now, there seems to be some, you could say, price manipulation here, maybe possibly going on. What some people do, and I don't know why TCG Player has not stopped this whole thing, but TCG Player is dumb in the way that they don't include shipping costs with the market price. They only include the cost of the item, which is the dumbest thing, because how you're actually supposed to price, okay, a product is like the total amount, shipping included. That's how it's supposed to be. And some people like to drop the price of the market price by making it so that, okay, the actual price of the product is cheap, and then they add a ton of shipping. It does not cost $39 to ship a Surging Sparks booster box. It doesn't. So I believe that is part of the case here. But I have seen, you can actually buy these for around $245, $250. So it's a little bit misleading to say that the price is $230 for Surging Sparks booster boxes. I believe it was sort of manipulated a little bit. You can see there's a sale here for $197 from this seller, presumably, and obviously, you add up, the price here, it's like 236. So it's, misleading, but they still have dropped significantly. Even, when I was talking about, them being a good buy, they were in the 260s, 270s. Well, now you can buy them for, sub 250. It's become an even better buy, and very kind of obvious in my opinion. If you look where they were previously, we're basically back to where we were before the run up. So this, in my opinion, is a very good sign to buy on this dip, because they ran up and now they're going back down. I am seeing people finding these at Pokemon Center vending machines pretty frequently, from a lot of subreddits. People, whenever they post, "Oh, I got this product from MSRP," they're getting these from Pokemon Center vending machines. So I think that is one of the reasons why, maybe the main reason why, the prices are going down for loose Surging Sparks booster boxes, because cases have actually not really dropped much at all, but the loose booster boxes have. So I believe Surging Sparks booster boxes are a very obvious buy right now. They've already gotten reprinted once. They're at this point pretty much a year old. I do think at $250, you really cannot go wrong. You can see here, you get to the first like gold star seller, it's at $245, so it's still cheaper than it was previously. It's dropped another like $20. So Surging Sparks, I think, is a really good buy right now, as it is. Even though, yes, can it still get printed for another year in some months? Sure. But, considering it's already gotten reprinted and dropped quite a bit in the past month, I think is a pretty good buy right now in this market. It is almost pretty much at this point the cheapest booster box in Scarlet and Violet. Kind of crazy to say that, but it is pretty much the cheapest one. Maybe, it's pretty close to like Scarlet and Violet base and Paradox Rift, but it's pretty cheap. Comparing especially, the quality of set this is compared to those, Surging Sparks is much better than Paradox Rift or Scarlet and Violet base. Now, if you go on eBay, you'll see you can't really buy it for much cheaper than, $250. They're all about $250 here. So it's TCG Player. If you can buy it for $245, well, that's like $5 cheaper than pretty much any other listing on eBay. Now next here, Paldea Evolved. Paldea Evolved has dropped a lot in the past month as well. This has dropped about 20%, just like Surging Sparks. You can see here it doesn't really reflect that, but these were basically $500 at one point. They were like $480, $490. Well, now you can buy them for about $400. So it's dropped pretty much $100 in the past month. These ran up quite a bit, as you can see here, from literally in like a month and a half. $350 all the way to like almost $500. So they're pulling back with the whole market sort of pulling back, and now you can buy them for pretty close to $400. Paldea Evolved is going out of print early next year, and that's why it lands here in second, because it is pretty expensive of a booster box, being at $400, but it's dropped quite a bit. Has the Magikarp, we all know, and it is going out of print early next year. If you go on eBay, you're basically paying the same as TCG Player. Pretty much you're paying $400 plus like a little bit more, like $10. So eBay is pretty much the same price, but you can find a minty one and pay the same as TCG Player, or maybe pay like $5-10 more and get a minty one. It might be worth picking it up on eBay, but no real big deals here. Next is Paradox Rift. Paradox Rift has dropped enormously in the past month. Honestly, I'm not too surprised because of how this rose so quickly. It was pretty artificial. It was literally one day where prices skyrocketed from being at $250 to like $320. Paradox Rift, out of all the sets, this getting, I guess, bought out. This one's the most obvious one to drop quite a bit back to where it was before. Paradox Rift, regardless of I guess what people say, because I know some people think that Paradox Rift is some amazing set. It's a decent set, and I'll give it that. It's a decent set. But for it to be worth $320, and you look at all the other booster box prices, it kind of doesn't really make much sense that Paradox Rift would be that expensive. Therefore, it's dropped quite a bit. There isn't that much demand, as you can see, as prices have fallen. Sales volume really has not grown at all. Paradox Rift, in my opinion, is somewhat similar to Astral Radiance, where it's like a decent set. But will it outperform at some point? Maybe, but I just don't see it happening. I mean, Paradox Rift to me is just sort of a mid set. So yeah, it's dropped quite a bit, all the way now to about $245. So at this point, it's a pretty good buy. It lands third because it is going out of print early next year with Paldea Evolved, but it's definitely not a very strong set in the Scarlet and Violet era in comparison to like Surging or Paldea. It's nowhere near as strong, but it has a Groudon. The Groudon's pretty popular. It's what, I don't know, maybe $90. I haven't checked in a while, to be honest. I don't know, but it is a pretty popular IR. But the set as it is not that popular. But because it's going out of print early next year, I'm going to put it at third. If you go on eBay, you'll notice that this is pretty much a trend with all these booster boxes. It's not really any cheaper. It's actually much cheaper on TCG Players, so there's that. Now, lastly here, Destined Rivals. This lands last because Destined Rivals is only about like 5 months old. It's still very new. It seemingly has stagnated for the last few weeks at $400 since we got that Pokemon Center drop. I don't think Destined Rivals is a great investment. I mean, I don't know who's saying this is a great investment at $400. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious it's not. $400 for Destined Rivals is pretty expensive. We have yet to get, I guess, an official reprint other than that sort of restock we got on Pokemon Center. Yeah, this is definitely up in the air for a reprint. So it being at $400, I don't think is a great investment being this new. And if you look on eBay, just like everything else, there's really no discount here. This is a brand new seller with no ratings. So just want to show you guys the booster boxes that have been dropping the most. Some have dropped quite a bit. Paldea Evolved, Surging Sparks, or in the other order, Surging Sparks, then Paldea Evolved. Those are my top two that I would say are the best investments right now, things to buy from the recent price drops. Paradox Rift is kind of it's like a safe buy, but I don't see much high potential. Destined Rivals is kind of like, okay, you probably shouldn't be buying from this, but I had to include it here because it has dropped quite a bit. But that's all I want to share in this video. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.